Hey, let's talk. It's Boysen Hodgson with the Mankind Project USA, and I'm with Patrick Mureithi, my dear friend, and we're calling these it's the Springfield Conversations. Patrick is in Springfield, Missouri.
hmm
I'm here in Springfield, Massachusetts,
How
and
about the Springfield sessions?
ooh,
Yeah.
wow, that would make me feel like a musician or something. That would be uh, okay. Maybe yeah, right. I've got stories to tell about singing. That's
There you go.
wonderful.
Plus, you live a musical life.
I live a musical life.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
hmm
Um, Patrick and I have known each other now for 3 or 4 years. When I started paying attention, I think it was Facebook, but I started seeing stuff about a movie that you did, and my first knowledge of you was as a filmmaker
hmm
for Inziri Hope,
hmm
and you and I spoke some back then, and now things just keep blossoming and expanding and changing, and look where you're sitting, and you have a ukulele in your lap. And so let's chat. Springfield sessions, take one.
Take one. Action.
Action. Our actions. So what's up? What are you doing sitting out in the yard?
Well, I just got done recording a song, a video. Uh-huh.
New song? Brand new song?
Actually, no. It's a song that's on my album, the Walking song. Uh, yeah. My buddy Will Childs really challenged me and encouraged me, but also kind of gave me a swift kick in the behind, and told me, just make live recordings of you performing your songs and do it once a week, at least twice a week, and put it out there. And so I've been doing that. Once a week, I'll meet up with him and we'll record a song. And today I decided on the Walking song, kind of last minute. But every week I commit to sharing a video of a live performance. And the thing is, I think even with a live performance period, playing in front of other people, but also playing in front of a camera, knowing that other people are going to watch it, um, uh, there's a lot that can come up in terms of, am I doing this right? Doubts and so trepidation or whatever. But I've learned to notice that and to just do it anyway, to keep playing through it, because people aren't looking for perfection; they're looking for connection. And so to just allow myself to feel what comes up and express myself anyway has been very therapeutic, because also there's certain emotions that will come up, that I can then just kind of observe and sing through them. And it's been a growth process, doing this. And so I met with him at 8 a.m. this morning, and we got done at 8:55. And I thought, my goodness, I have this interview with Boysen at 9, and so I just set up my laptop, and here we are.
People don't want perfection, they want connection.
Yes, something I forget a lot.
Something I
Good
forget
reminder.
a lot.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. That was one of the things that I kind of jotted down as I was thinking about getting out there as something that you have modeled for me. And
Have I?
oh yeah,
Because I feel like you've modeled that for me.
well, we find the mirrors that we are seeking.
Amen.
Yeah, because I just, when we first talked, it was about your movie, and let's talk about your movie. Let's talk a little bit about your background. But then over the course, it's just like more and more and more. I just watch you step more fully into your creative expression and your creative process and your philosopher king kind of energy that I think that you carry. And maybe that's just more. Maybe I'm just projecting. I sometimes do that.
I think we do to a certain degree, but when you speak those things to other people, like you said that, and I was like, ooh, the loss of a king. Huh? And so that gives me encouragement to step more into that role. You know,
Yeah.
I think we should speak these things to other people. You know, and even if it is, we might think it's a projection of what's going on within us that we are transferring to the other person. Speak it anyway, and give.
Uh-oh. We just froze. Oh, now you just came back.
Yeah.
Speak it anyway, you said, and then you froze. Fascinating.
Oh, well, I think we can end the thought there. Speak it anyway. Give
Mm.
that gift to other people, you know, and find the things that the things that we appreciate about other people. Maybe we take for granted, and we think that they know that. And so, uh, you know, when we compliment someone and we tell them something that we admire about them, and we get the reply that, "Oh my goodness, thank you for saying that. That really means a lot to me," and so on and so forth. And for me, I think, well, it's obvious. It's that's who you are, and that's what I see in you, and that's what I've always seen in you. But a lot of times, people might not see in themselves what we see in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sure, also that applies to the shadow part of themselves, but it also applies to the gold. And I think we should speak the gold. We should speak about the treasure we perceive in other people, even if it's a projection of ourselves, because it helps them grow. It's a gift we give to other people, and we can all use encouragement. We can all use something to urge us on along our journey. And by giving it to other people, we give it to ourselves as well.
You said something before I started recording about the gift, about or maybe it's just what I thought in my head about giving your gift.
Yeah.
And sharing that with other people and communicating. And I remember in our first conversation years ago, we talked about conflict and conflict resolution. Talk a little bit about Nziri and talk a little bit about your background, because I think these things are connected. It's the reconciliation and moving through conflict and healing trauma and healing past wounds.
Yeah.
We come to this place of heart where it actually becomes possible.
Yeah.
To give.
Yeah, I can. There's certainly a connection. So, I mean, I can really take off on a tangent and talk about this for a while. But Ichizere is the documentary that I produced in Rwanda that focused on a gathering of 10 survivors and 10 perpetrators of the 1994 genocide. And it was a workshop called Healing and Rebuilding Our Communities that was hosted by the African Great Lakes Initiative, which is a Quaker organization that works to bring together two sides of a conflict and apply conflict resolution, trauma coping skills to try to work toward rebuilding relationships between these two sides of the conflict. And so when I heard about these workshops taking place in Rwanda, this was about 2005, 2006, I was incredulous. I thought, I mean, how is it possible? Especially once I discovered just how severe the genocide in Rwanda was, really through watching a documentary called Ghosts of Rwanda that was on PBS on Frontline in 2004. And that documentary really it depressed me and mortified me, and it was really shocking to watch. And so a year later, to hear about these workshops in Rwanda, I thought it's possible that this is too good to be true, because how can survivors and perpetrators of such a brutal and efficient genocide come to a better understanding of each other in just a 3-day workshop? But then the second thought I had was, it was a story that had to be told. It was really my broken heart. It was my grief that propelled me to investigate for myself whether this was possible. I felt like I had lost my faith in humanity, and I wanted to investigate whether this was in fact happening. And the process of making the documentary itself was a very creative one, and one it was an adventure and a journey in trust, because I didn't have the funds to make a film. I had never really made a feature-length documentary before. I'd made some kind of mini documentaries and promo videos and so on. And I decided this is what I want to do. And when I decided to do that, doors began to open where I least expected. And a local band by the name of Big Smith offered to have a fundraising concert for me. A lot of people came to this fundraising concert. The newspaper did a story, the local NPR station, some of the TV stations. People in Springfield, Missouri supported my trip to Rwanda in 2007. Mm-hmm. And it was a life-changing experience to observe these participants in this room who were brave enough to face their pain, who came to a better understanding of themselves and of each other. And it made me ask myself, if they can do this, what bitterness, what resentment what grudges am I holding on to that's keeping me from being the type of human being that I want to become, the type of father, type of husband? Mm-hmm. And that question led me on my journey of healing, which is a continual one. Healing is not a one-day thing, it's a one day at a time thing, right? But it really helped me to grow in awareness of the work that I could do in order to heal myself, which included going to the New Warrior Training Adventure, which included plugging into what Mankind Project had to offer, which included going to therapy and so on and so forth. But it also included creative outlet. Mm-hmm. At that point, I could not play guitar, by the way, because about 12 years ago, I suddenly was unable to keep rhythm on the guitar, and it was because of an operation that I had where a swollen gland was removed for biopsy, and in the process, the surgeon cut a nerve that controls some of these muscles. Mm-hmm. So if I removed my shirt, you'd see that there's no muscle up here. It's completely atrophied, and it affected the nerves down here. Again, it's such a long story with so many I don't know, tangents that I could talk about it for a while. But what it did was made me realize that we are responsible for our healing, that there's things that we can do in order to overcome these traumas in our lives, and that we should love ourselves enough to ask for help. And that by doing that, then we have a major gift that we can offer the world. That the greatest gift I can offer anyone, including the people I profess to love, is my own healing. And for me, part of that includes the creative expression of music. Mm-hmm. I was about 9 months ago, I was able to learn, thanks to a friend of mine by the name of Bryce Anderson, things that I can do in order to, one day at a time, be able to play music. Mm-hmm. Right? I met this young man. I mean, he's 28 years old, lives in Arkansas, who offered to show me, certain exercises, he introduced me to certain massage tools, very simple things that I can use to massage, the tight muscles and tight fascia to release what needs to be released. Introduced me to the work of a fellow by the name of Wim Hof, who teaches deep breathing and cold exposure. And so every day, as much as I can, when I wake up in the morning, I do this deep breathing, I take cold showers, I do certain stretches, I avoid certain foods like sugar, white flour, dairy. And if I do that one day at a time, then my arm feels okay and I can play music. So I feel like I have a reprieve from this inability to play music that is directly proportional to the attention that I give to myself. So another, and then there's many other details in between.
There's so much.
There is a lot. And so I guess it's good we're having these sessions that we can unpack a little at a time.
At a time, yeah. Love yourself enough to ask for help.
Love yourself enough to ask for help, absolutely. Because what keeps us from doing that is shame. It's a shame that we are grown. You're a grown man. Why you should have had it figured out by now. What's wrong with you? Type of thing. When really we are all of us, walking around desiring connection, desiring community, desiring to have real conversation with each other, but not knowing how to do that. And not knowing oftentimes safe people to do that with, or safe environments in order to do that. And so to be introduced to places like I groups, where you can, they emphasize all of you is welcome. All of you. I used to wonder, what do they mean, all of you is welcome? Isn't it all of you are welcome? What's up with this English? But it's all of you is welcome, meaning the parts of myself that yes, we all do, I present to the world, right? But also my insecurities and my doubts and my fears and my anger, and just all of it is welcome. It's welcome here. Share where you're at. This is where I'm at. And just by sharing that this is where I'm at, I'm asking for help. And I put it outside of myself, and I see it for what it is. And oftentimes it's a paper tiger. It doesn't have that much power. But when I keep it in my head and I isolate, then it brings me into this downward spiral, which whenever I go through such cycles, looking back in my life, really the only thing that has helped me and has stopped me from doing that is accepting that this is where I'm at, and then reaching out for someone that I love and who loves me, and saying, hey, listen, I'm struggling. And this is why, and just reasoning things out with them. And then it doesn't have the power to control me. And then, life happens, and then it happens again. And then I find myself isolating. It's like, how powerful is this tendency to try to do things by ourselves, and to feel like, we should have it all figured out. We don't necessarily have to have it all figured out. I think really the only thing we should figure out and remember is that there's help, there's people out there that love us, that there's tools that we can use to show ourselves we matter. And going to I groups, going to gatherings where people hold each other in regard and accept each other for who they are, is ultimately one of the most healing things.
Create that space for that. Yeah. There's a meme out there in the culture. I have an opinion. I have a judgment that there's kind of this thing out there in the culture, and I see it in men especially a lot. Well, I fixed that. No, I already fixed that.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to have to fix that again.
Yeah.
And another buddy of mine, Mike Rostowski, talks about crying in this way. He talks, like, cry's like breathing, crying's like peeing, crying's like using the bathroom. Do you expect that you're ever going to have to stop using the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And so are the patterns in me. So are these cycles. So are this, it's like, when can I stop doing this piece of work over and over again?
Yeah.
Well, why are you holding an expectation that you'll ever have to stop doing that?
Yeah.
Welcome to human being.
Yeah. Maybe it's because of the vulnerability, and we grow up in a culture that does not discourages vulnerability, or grow up in environments where we're told, man, men don't cry. You're a 6-year-old boy. Man up. What's wrong with you? Don't be a sissy. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, intellectually, we can understand that. I can understand crying I like how you described it. It's like using the bathroom, and so we walk around emotionally constipated. And there's times in my life, many times, when I might go through this spell where I'm dealing with this depression or despair or whatever. And I know, like, if I could just have a good cry, to release and come, but I can't get myself to do it. And at the times that I do, and the tears come unexpectedly, it is so cathartic and so healing. And so, we have to challenge this idea that we should not cry, because that's part of our emotional health. We need to be able to weep and to express where we are at. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be through tears. I mean, the tears are a wonderful way of letting it out, but through some kind of having someone we can be like, yo, this, I'm going through I'm struggling, and allowing the emotion to come out instead of, I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
How about those Raiders? Or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's fine too, but we need to have these real talks. And so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Would you play something?
I would be happy to. Yeah.
I would love it.
How about I play what I just recorded? The walking song.
Sounds good. I'm going to put myself on mute.
Okay. You want me to play the whole song or just a little bit?
What moves you?
Okay. I don't know how much time we had. Okay, here we go. Took another walk to search myself. Lately I've been finding someone else. More without a doubt, I do believe. Yes, a good walk is a sweet relief. Took another walk to search myself. Lately I've been finding somebody. Took another walk to walk is such a wonderful thing. Make my heart sing. Thank you, Lordy. Yeah, yeah. Condensed version.
The condensed version. Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was interesting singing through this. I hope it sounded all right.
Yes.
Okay, good. Next
Yes.
time I'll unplug the whole thing and just be able to sing more freely.
No, it actually worked. It actually worked well.
Cool.
Faith.
I know
her. Sorry?
I know her.
You know her? Yeah. The George Michael song also. Very good song.
Yeah. Very good song.
Faith. There's something that's come up in the conversation just today, and it came up for me as you were playing. There's Lordies, there's references, there's calls out that I hear in your music and I hear in conversations with you that I think is beautiful, and I think fits with this. I'm going to take the chance to actually share my soul and share my heart and my spirit with another human being. And I think there's an aspect of that takes a deep sense of faith. I'm going to put faith in.
Yes. Yeah.
That just jumped up for me.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. It takes an aspect of faith because for me personally, when I decide to sing and to share, like as I was playing the walking song, like to be perfectly honest right now, it was the first time I've done it with these little earbuds. The mic is right here. I'm hearing myself inside my head, when you like block your ears. And so I've never really sang like that. And so as I was doing it, I had these thoughts that maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe we should stop the whole interview and start again. I wonder if I'm not, man, how all these things come up. And it's not uncommon. When I sit down on this bench and record the songs that I have been recording, Riverbed that I posted recently, Brother Blue, it doesn't matter. These doubts come up. And I've learned that when these doubts come up, to just acknowledge them, not even to fight them, notice them and keep singing anyway, keep doing my thing anyway. Certain emotions can come up. And they can be sometimes intense and feel overwhelming. And sometimes I feel like I'm about to cry or whatever. Keep singing through that. And if tears show up, sing through that anyway, you know? And that is, I think, a continual lesson that I will be learning is to affirm myself through creative expression. And it could be music, but also life. Life is musical. Life is a creative act. And it takes faith, just faith that that I'm doing what I need to be doing right now. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's okay. And this whole idea of being perfect and doing things perfectly keeps us from accomplishing so much, has kept me from accomplishing so much. Mm-hmm. And to challenge that and just do it anyway. And that's a major act of faith, sure. And it applies to all of life. It applies in all our endeavors, because there can be that inner critic or external critic where we are like observing ourselves and holding ourselves up to a standard that we think we have to mm-hmm. To achieve in order to be okay. When the reality is we are okay just as we are. We express ourselves where we are at this moment in time and keep on moving and keep on pushing. And that there's someone out there that will hear what you have to share that'll touch them. Because when I hear someone, it could be an open mic, it could be just whatever, a conversation that I have. When someone shares where they are, it always touches me in a very deep place. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And oftentimes they share where they are with an apology. Like, this is where I'm at. I'm so sorry I sound like I'm nagging. I'm so sorry I keep repeating this. But no, you're not. You're not nagging. You're not being a broken record. You need to say it. You're saying it. It's making me reflect on certain things in my life. It's giving me perspective on certain things in my life. It's reminding me I'm not alone because I relate to what it is you are saying. So I'm not terminally unique. We're all going through similar experiences, just different circumstances, but similar foundational experiences. And thank you for expressing that. And so if someone else can share where they are and it moves me, right? When I'm sharing where I'm at, I should not give too much credence to the judgments that come up, because it's where I'm at and it's okay. It's my life. It's where I'm at. And there's someone out there that will be moved by that. And we take what we like and leave the rest, and we carry on with this journey called life, Yeah.
Yay. Give yourself permission.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you were...
Give yourself applause too.
Applause? No, that's too far.
No.
I'm sorry, I can't go there. That's too far.
Well, I'll applaud you.
and there it is, right? So yeah, the willingness to ask for help again and notice the voices, and even notice the voices noticing the voices. Oh, there I am again, making judgments about myself.
Sure.
About my sharing. Yeah.
And part of it is we don't deserve applause too, like for me sometimes. And my buddy Bryce, who helped me with my arm, he really helped me to see that we need to affirm ourselves, and we need to let ourselves know, hey, good job with that. I'm proud of you. Good job. It's like we're talking to a child, the child within us.
Yeah.
And affirming that child, because otherwise we go through life trying to get that affirmation from other people. And then when people give it to us, it's like we don't believe it anyway.
Yeah.
What are they trying to sell me? Do they really mean that? No, they're just trying to be nice. But that's because we don't give it to ourselves. Whereas if we give it to ourselves and someone gives it to us, we receive it and say thank you. Otherwise it's like, oh, they gave it to me. Well, I'm going to keep, I'm going to bend over backwards and be this contortionist to try to keep receiving this from them.
Yeah.
When in reality, we need to get it from ourselves and our connection with our higher power.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You take, so here we've been doing it. I think that we've been kind of reproducing in a microcosm kind of what you do and who you are in the world right now. Yes. So you are music and story and healing journey and modalities, habits, methods for doing healing, and all of these things. And then we were talking before I started recording, like you're coming up here to the Northeast, and what you do is take this that you have, that you've created, that you've gotten, that you channel, all of these things, and share it with other people. Say more about sharing it with other people.
Well, I think what the world needs more is real conversations. That's certainly what I need. I know that what helps me along my journey, what gives me energy, what gives me insight, what gives me a sense of clarity, and again, this is not something you receive and then you have it and then that's it, and you're like a realized person. But having a real conversation with people we love and we trust helps us, helps the other person, and we climb together, in terms of awareness and in terms of just clarity as we go through the day. And without having the ability to have that, this is what 12-step groups will provide. This is what iGroups will provide. And it's rare to have communities where this can happen. In my experience, this is what a healthy relationship will provide. So as I continue to carry on with this life that I've been given and been gifted with, and that is not guaranteed in terms of the next day, then as much as I can, I'm trying to learn things I can do in order to live it more fully. And I think we all desire a sense of adventure in terms of, that's why going on vacation, going on a trip, going on a hike, it's an adventure, right? I think our everyday can be an adventure, especially when we're exploring our emotional landscape and being real about where we're at. So that's how I feel about music. I mean, it really speaks to me. I feel really drawn toward performing and sharing my songs and telling stories, because for me, I feel like it's medicinal. Mm-hmm. I get to heal, I get to grow in awareness. It's really deeply satisfying, and it's hard to put into words, but I love it. And so to be able to find opportunities to share with other people, and then and then they get to share their appreciation, be it in terms of a tip, in terms of a hug, in terms of a thank you. There's an energy exchange there that I feel is deeply spiritual. And so I enjoy, even if it's playing for someone on the bus or on the plane when I'm traveling and I have my little ukulele, or on the street corner, or at a show, or at a house concert. I love it. I love it. And so I am coming to the Worcester area from August 15th to the 22nd. And I'm looking for venues where I can play house shows, in particular, where people invite their friends, and we can do it in their backyard or in their living room, and I get to share my songs and share the stories behind them, and have this sense of community. I like to think I'm not in the music business, that I'm in the energy business.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and that we are, all of us human beings, we are energy beings, right? Just like I don't necessarily need coffee, but I like it sometimes. But just like we need nutritional sustenance, I need to put something into my body so that my body can use it as fuel, and I can carry on and do the things that I need to do. I think on a spiritual level, we need that too. And on an emotional level, we need that too. And on an energetic level, we need that too. That's where the real conversation feeds me, feeds you. We're both fed. It's symbiotic. It's a beautiful thing, right? Because if I'm not getting it that way, if I'm not getting it through some kind of a spiritual practice, through meditation, through exercise, through all these things that we do that are beneficial for us and that are very simple, but the returns are so great. If I'm not doing that, then I'm trying to get it in other ways. I'm trying to get it through approval from other people. I'm trying to up my energy through the consumption of sugar and other addictive behaviors that do not satisfy, that ultimately lead me into this downward spiral. Yeah. And so for me, it's my pleasure to be able to share songs. It's my pleasure to be able to tell stories. And it's my pleasure to be able to hear other people's songs and other people's stories. Because one quote I really like by G.K. Chesterton says, "We need to be reminded more than we need to be instructed." Right? So the truth can be very simple, but it's so simple that it's easy to forget it, and we complicate things and we make it much more complex. And so by going out into the world and by keeping in touch with the people we love and by being real about where we are reminded of this. Other people are reminded, we are reminded, and I can remember now and forget in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. So we need this constant reminders, and that's where the energy comes from. Seeing a live show where someone is digging deep and they're sharing where they're at, it's no longer a matter of, I mean, there has to be, I appreciate technical ability, but there's also the soul that comes forth through that, and it's an energy that you receive that is a powerful thing, and that they receive, and it's a very spiritual thing.
Beautiful. How should folks find you?
They can go to my website, which is patrickmureithi.com. PatrickMureithi.com, right there.
There you go, that way.
Yeah. And on the website there's some samples from my album. There's I think 3 or 4 songs from my album, This I Believe, including the walking song, which I just played with a band. The walking song is. And there's a link to my Bandcamp page, which you can listen to the entire album for free on that. There's links to my documentaries. There's ways you can contact me. And it's a relatively new website, but I'm proud of it. And I keep adding stuff that shows information on shows. It's a nice little site. I hope you can visit it. And I certainly hope you can listen to the music.
Yeah.
And share it with your friends if it means anything, if it means something to you, because musicians artists appreciate appreciation, and we are all artists, every single one of us. We are creative. A friend of mine called Carter says, "I've never taken a walk around the universe and bumped into another me." Right? So we are all creative expressions of the divine. We are all creative beings, and we live life creatively because we live life from our perspective that is totally unique, and in whichever way we choose to express it, be it through music, be it through conversation, be it through just the way who we are is a creative expression. And appreciate appreciation, not sweet talking, not compliments, right. Appreciation. I see you and I appreciate where you are at this moment. And I see you, Boysen, and I appreciate who you are and where you are. And I'm very grateful for the conversations we've had in the past, the conversation we're having now, and the conversations we're going to have in the future. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm doing logistical work in my head right now. So the logistical work is about finding a way to actually get you here to Springfield, Massachusetts. And
I'm coming.
When you're here in a couple of weeks. So I'm grateful. The Springfield sessions continue.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you for modeling who I am and who I want to be more of.